We have to start with thanks to Rocky Boat and Insta Pictures for this gifted advanced review copy. I wasn't asked to film, I just thought this would make a really good Halloween vlog. I love vengeful spirits, and the first line of the synopsis just sounded perfect. Sujin has always known the rules: never bring back anything larger than her palm from the dead, but that was before Mary died. It goes on. The two hand sisters possess a secret, unusual gift: the ability to reanimate the dead. Passed down through generations, Sujin and Mary have brought back countless creatures, though always with the warning never to resurrect anything larger than what they can hold in their palms. So when the eldest daughter Marie is found mysteriously drowned in the river that cuts through their small coastal town, freshly grieving 17-year-old Sujin can't resist the impulse to bring her beloved sister back. At first, the sisters delight in their reunion, but after this sleepy American town is engulfed by a series of harrowing, unusual deaths, Sujin is forced to reckon with the fact that perhaps the sister she brought back isn't the one she knew. The line, "a house full of miraculous, life-giving girls, and it could not save them," is really haunting. And I would describe the whole book thus far as just suffused in grief. In every moment, in every thought, it always comes back to the sister and mother. And I think it's really beautifully written and really beautifully conveyed. I am a little bit regretting my decision to vlog because of that, because I'm sure at some point there's going to be tears, but it's a really, really great book. I don't know what it was that I was expecting, but it wasn't for the sister's return to be the part where I started crying. And I do mean like her being there and seeing what it was that Sujin had lost. But also, I mean, I probably should have anticipated this, but you know, having come back from the dead, having to keep that a secret, having to be a secret, it really is giving me a lot of like chronic illness feelings of just like feeling confined and trapped, and that life is moving on without you, which, oof, excellently written, but a lot. And it really is living up to the promise of horror as well, which I really just, I don't want to spoil it. This isn't a spoiler free vlog, but I don't want to spoil it if you are at all interested in reading it. But the actual summoning her back, amazing. It's so eerie, and that sense of something being wrong, just, it will not go away. And it's great, it's absolutely fantastic, I love it. Oh my god, I would not wish that fate on my worst enemy. Delicious for Halloween, though, well, month of Halloween. I am actually kind of sad that it is so far from the day itself, but Jesus Christ. Oh, it's terrible and amazing, and when I get back, I'm gonna have to start up my quotes journal again, because this is just, it's so, I love the writing. Specifically this time, the line, "as she vanished into the hallway's dark throat," like, it's just so evocative.
And I'm trying not to do this because there's a lot. But yeah, no, I love the writing. The end of part 2 is just, I knew there were going to be 3 parts because you can see the dividing line in the pages. I wasn't sure how it was going to play out because obviously there is before she comes back and after, and I wasn't sure what the third was going to be. If it was going to be like things coming together after Mary, if she's, if she was going to die again or not. But of course it was this. Of course it was always going to be the reveal. Ugh. I talked a little bit about the revenge before, and I really appreciate that even when you're like, I really want to see this play out, and I really want these motherfuckers to get what's coming to them, there's still like a moment here or there where you look at these terrible people knowing the terrible things that they've done and you're still like, oh. And I really like that it doesn't just let you be on Mary's side, because like that fantastic scene, but still like just that moment of like this poor woman thinking, oh, I can be free and I can travel the world like I've always wanted to, and then just like snuffed. It's every time I look at this cover I am just blown away, and I just feel like that's the perfect summation of the book, with every chapter, with every, it's weaving so much together. The sisters' grief, Sujin kind of finding her way back to life, hauntings, revenge, just like the perpetrators and what they did, and it's come together so beautifully. It's so hard because I want to talk to you about lotuses, and I'm finding it very hard to do so, because the one scene that comes to mind is one that I really don't want to take the experience of reading that away from you. But I will say this, the lotus is very symbolic in Buddhism, just because it is like this pure white flower that rises up out of like muddy, wet, dirty ground. And it does all kind of tie back into that lack of comfort that it allows you. And I think it does so in a really beautiful way. But yeah, that scene, ooh, if you're at all interested, I would highly recommend. I really, really appreciate how in its weaving together so many people's stories, that it doesn't shy away from anyone's culpability. And I think that really ties into something that I feel at the moment with it, which is, obviously this could change because I'm not actually finished with it, but usually in a story like this, where you have to, where the lesson is letting go, it's usually only the thing that you're trying to hold on to that you lose. But I really appreciate that this is so much about even when you're healing, there are still things that you can't hold on to. There are still things that you lose. And I think that's really, it makes it all the more poignant.
And The River Drags Her Down is the story of two sisters and the love that they have for one another. So I haven't spoken as much on Mark Moon or their dad. They are similar, in many ways opposites, but they both spend the book struggling with past inadequacies, some of those more forgivable than others. I understand that Moon is a Korean surname, but the English definition also suits him. In the depth of Sujin's grief, he is a light in the dark, and in a world with no ancestral magic, she might have found her way out of the depths with him. And that provides just enough hope and levity, especially as the sisters' reckoning looms ever closer. In a lesser book that might render Mark flat, the good guy, the comforting presence, the boy next door even, but not here. Here he is also a destabilizing presence. Sujin is so desperate for this to work out, and so caught up in the euphoria of having her sister back, that she either doesn't notice or she overlooks things. Even in that initial act of bringing her back, she's focused on the ritual itself and isn't in any condition to notice what's happening around her. But Mark is. He sees what she doesn't want to, and he cares enough not to overlook it. I personally found Sujin very relatable for the intensity of her feelings and for her desperation. It's not wrong to call her selfish, but it can be lacking in empathy for her in ways that I just feel is unfair. She can come across as unbearably self-centered, even cruel, and she is, and it is. But that overlooks that Marie is just as incapable of coping with her grief and of moving on. Say what you will about Sujin, she wasn't walking out onto the roads in the pitch black for a chance to hear her mother's voice again. My point here being, Marie might be better adjusted in some ways, but I don't think she's less selfish in her grief. And I don't think that in Sujin's place, she would have automatically made a better choice. And though it began long before Marie's death, I do love that a horror is the dehumanization that she experiences. Grief often does this, I think. Things that once felt unforgivable in life can feel small and petty when you know that there won't be anything anymore. But whether up on a pedestal or down in the gutter, it all stems from the same root. And a part of me thinks it would have been interesting if Jan had done more with the way that the two went together. Which isn't to say that there was nothing. Marie's life wasn't hers to live, and because of her sister, neither was her death. It is done, and done excellently. And given everything else Jan has done, it doesn't feel like a loss. I think the one element that doesn't sit well with me, and I don't even know if this is a criticism, is their dad. Marie spent so much of her second life having to hide from him. Sujin so often felt guilty. She hadn't fixed them. They still weren't a family. And I think that's why. It might have been the right decision for the book as a whole, but it still breaks my heart that even at the end, when Murray was more monster than girl, that they didn't get a chance to say goodbye. Jan has crafted this book with so much deftness and care that this one element really stood out to me. I think in my review I said it's an utterly beautiful book. It's poignant and unflinching and fantastic horror. I felt destroyed and healed, and if I could only recommend one book this year, this would be it. I stand by that. I know I haven't given the horror elements its due, but there are plenty of other more capable people of exulting on those aspects. But whether the horror, the love, the grief, the folklore, the vengeance, the mystery, I think you would be hard pressed not to find something in this book that you would love.